anxiety or fear over the future job market? Do you worry that anywhere between 17 to 25 years of education that you could graduate and be jobless? Because I know I do. Well, young people in China probably don't have those type of fears because their economy has increased 316% in the last decade, which is 7 times faster than that of the US. Hi, my name is Grace Roper, and I'm majoring in PR, where we have spent a lot of time studying the importance of communication, especially when trying to achieve a goal. I think that my research and interest in this topic will help me get my point across during this speech. I think that this topic can apply to anyone interested in international business or any sort of human relations that could involve other countries. In order to better understand the importance of business etiquette and international relations, let's examine the difference in China's way of business strategies from the US. So, today I'm going to tell you about what seems like small details but can actually make a huge difference in the business world. First, I'm going to discuss how pride means something very different in both of these nations. The main cause of these differences is because the nations have very different mentalities. According to IBS International Business Seminars, Americans place a huge deal of emphasis on self and personal identity, while the Chinese focus more on a collective national identity. As Brett Martin, a journalist who wrote Taming the Tiger, states, politics is an all-pervasive influence in China. They are taught at a very young age to serve the Chinese Communist Party instead of pursuing their own personal desires. While this is a sad reality, it is important to understand that their pride in their history means that they may be less averse and less innovative than Americans. A term that I learned in my PR class is direct versus indirect communication. While Americans are prone to be direct while communicating, this type of communication would not work as well in China. Americans are blunt, straightforward, aggressive, and persuasive because they're trying to achieve a leg up in the relationship. But if there's anything I've learned from my research, it's that this type of tactics might make the Chinese shut down. The main tactic that the Chinese pursue is trust. That might mean asking personal questions in order to understand your intentions, but that does not mean it is an invitation for you to be informal in the relationship. Next, I will be addressing the difference in the way we greet each other. While it is commonly assumed that everyone greets people the same, these two countries reveal the extreme differences in how we leave the conversation and introduce ourselves. While in America, a firm handshake with direct eye contact is seen as a formal approach when meeting anyone outside of your family, this would be viewed as inappropriate within the Chinese culture. According to an article written by Jackson Hudgens for CNBC, handshakes in China are not as firm and are expected to be short and soft. Also, eye contact is very brief because too much eye contact can be seen as a challenge. Hudgens also mentions that business cards are to be handled with respect. When giving a business card, it is crucial that you have Mandarin on one side and English on the other. When you present your card, you are to do so with 2 hands with the Mandarin side facing up. And when you receive a card, it is important to receive it with 2 hands and to never just shove it into your wallet, because these cards are seen as an extension of the person, so they need to be handled with respect. Lastly, I want to mention America's most common mistake in business, which is our rush and hurriedness for answers. We expect everything to be practically instant because when we want something, we want it now. In America, we focus on speed and efficiency, while in China, values extending conversation and decision making. A CNN case study called Doing Business in China mentions the Chinese tend to extend negotiations far beyond the agreed deadline to gain some advantage. It is important to accept their time and be as patient as possible. They might also indulge in lots of small talk or even invite you to drinks. This is so that you are able to build a personal relationship with them. This also means it is expected that you participate in the drinking that exists within their culture. As IBS International Business Seminar says, while in the US it is encouraged to keep the personal life out of the workplace, in China it's expected the two will overlap. Now let's summarize what I've gone over today and the 3 things I thought were important to know when conducting business deals in China. In order to be a successful businessman or woman in foreign relations, it is imperative not to have biases when coming in, and also to go into any meeting or negotiation with prior knowledge on the way they conduct business. We looked at the broad difference between the US and China because they have different mentalities, they have different negotiations and ways of saying goodbye that are proper within their culture, and China's values and negotiations within relationships. So again, while this could seem unimportant or unrelatable in any sort of job that involves communication with other countries or foreign people, it's very important to recognize the cultural differences. So by using China and the US, it gives us a glimpse of some of the business etiquette that can make or break a deal within a business relationship. Thank you.